I think we're live, guys. Episode 1 of the Absolute Awesome Show.
Awesome.
How you doing, Josh?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Cliff?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Excellent. So,
somehow you get out of wearing headphones.
I don't know. I don't need them.
All right, whatever.
His machine works. His machine works better. I don't have speakers at all, so I have to do this. Yeah.
All right.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. Well, the YouTubes are going to be watching us here in about 2 minutes because it's a little bit of a lag. G+ people are probably watching us right now, so that's cool. But yeah, this is our Absolute Awesome Show, and we're going to do this every 2 weeks. And we're going to have some people on here talking some crap.
Yep.
And it'll be me and Cliff and Josh and some other folks we're going to bring here in a minute, and guests and you guys too. So what's up, Josh? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to, huh? Good question. Well, I got married and had I think we have 8 babies now, and actually no, we don't have any, and we're just basically we have a dog and a cat, and we live on the eastern shore of Maryland, and we surf and we just live the beach life, and it's fun. And I work for Comcast Spotlight, and I sell advertising. Yep, that's what I do.
Nice.
I still play guitar a lot, and I'm helping Cliff with his solo project, and I do some other stuff with some other buddies and acoustics, but I mean I still never got rid of any amps or anything or any guitars, and I still I don't need it, but if you look around my office here, you can see I got amp, another little amp down there. They're all Marshall, by the way.
Is that a toilet? I saw a toilet there.
It's not. It is not.
No, okay. It looked like a toilet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so,
okay.
Anyway, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, that's me.
Cliff, what's he talking about? What's he helping you with?
I'm making I'm doing a record this fall. It's kind of country-ish, acoustic guitar based, 60s, 70s songwriter type stuff with old country style swing strumming. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it'll be cool. We're doing demos for it right now that actually sound really good, and it's pretty cool. So I'm supposed to be doing it in June or July or something like that, and it'll be fun. Yeah, cool. So anyway, Mike, what are you doing?
Right now? Right now, I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Now, I'm a government guy. I work for the government, so I had off work today, which was pretty sweet.
Why?
Well, it snowed.
Oh yes.
It started snowing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, that's because you live in Ocean City.
Okay.
I live in the actual real part of Maryland, the actual heart, real good part of Maryland, and it started snowing here bazillion hours ago. So yeah, they closed us down. It doesn't happen very often, actually. It's kind of weird. But had off today. I actually have off tomorrow, for real, a legitimate day off. So I got a 4-day weekend, which is kind of sweet.
Hey, Mike, last night, dude. Hey, remember that little chat I was sending you earlier? What's her name?
What?
It's okay.
You talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her name?
What's her name? Well,
I have a reason. What do you remember her name?
No.
You don't remember her name? Okay. Well, she was the preacher's daughter, and we were. I was just telling Christy this story, and last night we were laughing our heads off, laughing so hard. I wanted to share it here. The youth group, and I was 5 years older than the youth group, of course, and we were all, and you were there. And I don't even remember if you were going out with her anymore at this point. You guys might have already been broken up, but we were walking. We were at we were at the Inner Harbor Mall. Is there an Inner Harbor Mall where it's an actual where there's stores and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Kinda.
Well, maybe it wasn't that, but we were at some place. They had a Spencer's, and they had some wild, crazy science shop that had cool gadgets. And you know what I'm going to talk about now? That's right.
Yes.
And we were just walking down. We were walking around, and we were at the mall. A bunch of kids at the mall, and this your ex-girlfriend. I don't know if she was your girlfriend at the time, but preacher's daughter. Preacher's daughter! And she's walking down, and I just... she had very flowy shorts on, just relaxing. They were like, no belt or nothing, which was her mistake, of course, because I walked up behind her and bam! I pantsed her all the way down to the floor, and she had grandma panties on. You remember? And everybody just everybody walking around. Everybody's walking around, and it's just she's like. And what really made me laugh last night was thinking, oh yeah, she had to actually bend over. She had to bend over because her pants were on the floor, and then and I did it 3 times. You remember that? I did it 3 times.
I did send her a message to watch it tonight, so I'm hoping that.
Good times, man. Good
hoping that.
She's actually really
I'm
cool.
hoping that this is a fond memory for her.
Yes. She was actually really cool, but I remember I did it. I did it to her in the middle of the main hall runway, the middle of the runway.
Yeah.
And there's all these people around. And then I did it again, probably 10 minutes later, and then I did it in the middle of the store, in the aisle, all the way down to the floor. And the whole time we were just laughing so hard.
For anyone who doubts that Cliff was always crazy and a little over the top, this is what he did when I was 13 years old or something.
Right. Yeah. You were 13 or 15 or something like that, and I was already 28 at the time.
Yeah, somewhere in your 30s or something, yeah.
I never heard that story, but Mike, that was your girlfriend? You let Cliff do that to your girlfriend 3 times?
They might have been broken up at this point, because either he was a really bad boyfriend or they were already broken up. But he was laughing his head off. Oh man! And she laughed and went along with it the first couple of times, but by the 3rd time.
By the 3rd time.
And last night,
it's kind of funny, but it's also just okay, that's mean. Just what Cliff would do. Yeah.
No, right. But last night when Christy and I were talking about this, we were laughing so hard, we were crying and pounding our head. It was like when you're watching. You remember the first time you were ever watching what is it with the guy American Pie? Do you remember seeing that for the first time? And back then, that was very scandalous and crazy and very forward with its jokes and stuff, because no one joked about whacking off or anything like that back then, and so that was a big deal. And the first time you see that, and he keeps getting caught by his dad, and you're laugh as a guy, you're laughing because what? That's your greatest fear when you're growing up, right? So you're just laughing your head off, and you're pounding the side of me and my brother watched that, and we're just pounding the side of our chair.
Wait. Nobody joked about whacking off in 1994. That wasn't a joke.
It was a big deal. Do you remember in American Pie when that?
We are 9 minutes into the show. We're already talking about this. Come on.
No, but they didn't didn't really broach those subjects to that degree or at all.
Right.
And this was, this was whenever it was 1990 or 1992 or something. It was just not something you really saw in movies. Of course, now it's old hat in movies now, but back then it was pretty awesome and hilarious. And me and my brother watched that, and the way we were laughing when Christy and I were talking about this story last night, that's how we were laughing. So.
All right. Well,
blah, blah.
on that fine note, like Josh said, we just spent 9 minutes talking about American Pie, basically.
Right. Basically.
Hey man.
We're gonna bring in a few additional folks here. Andy and Rick.
Hey.
Could be here. You got to unmute yourselves, so make sure you go over to your little icons there and click the little.
Am I on?
You're on, man. Rick.
It's Andy.
We'll be here in 5 minutes.
Cliff.
There you go. Wait, no.
What's up, buddy?
There you go, buddy.
I'm totally picturing Cliff right now. 10 minutes ago, lining up 20 pixie sticks lines on his table and just going like this. 20 pixie sticks, man. He's on. He is on tonight. That's the Cliff that I love, man.
Hey, man. Well, that's just some funny stuff. When you get laughing like that, man. Cliff, that was just funny. That was when you're a kid, you just do anything at all to make your friends laugh. You literally don't give a crap. You'll do absolutely anything to anyone to make your friends laugh. It doesn't matter.
If you know the old saying, pants me once, shame on me, pants me 3 times, and you know, and if
Yeah,
Mike
the old-
and
the old
if
saying.
if Mike was laughing, that's Mike. That's bad, man. That is.
He was
bad.
laughing like you've never seen him laugh that hard, man. I'm telling you.
That's bad.
And
you ever
yeah,
seen-
I
He was a
admit,
kid.
man.
He was a kid, man. He didn't know any better.
And I wanted to impress the lead guitarist of Riff Raff. I mean, I had to do it. I had to laugh, or else I would have been, I had to do it.
I actually think that's one of the Mike and Cliff stories I have not heard, actually.
Yeah.
There are plenty. There are plenty.
There's
And they're
lots.
they're all equally as bad.
Rick,
They're
were
all-
you
they're
there?
a lot.
Rick, were you there when it was when Steve and I were when he put on the Too Small Huntington shirt for him?
Yeah,
You were
that was probably one of the top 5 funniest moments in my life.
That's awesome.
That was funny.
We don't need to talk about that.
We
though.
need to
That was
bring him
funny.
on and talk about that sometime because that is
Yes, it is.
wow.
But for the rest of us, that's not absolutely awesome or anything. That's just inside jokes, which we're going to have a lot of.
Yeah.
But just to kind of bring this all into perspective, Andy's got a really cool shirt on. I don't know if anyone noticed that. I really like that.
What's it say?
It says
Cat?
cat flag.
What is it?
You're not punk, man.
No.
You're so not punk, Cliff.
No.
It's a black flag.
Yeah, I understand the black
flag.
flag thing. What's the cat thing about?
Because it rhymes with black.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was it was like a punk rock cool dude throwback T-shirt for some like girl singer named Cat or something.
Did you get it
No.
from Hot Topic?
Dude.
Hot topic. Yeah.
Was that what you got? Or
Hey,
Spencer's?
Cliff.
Did you get it
Yeah,
from Spencer's?
Cliff.
Yeah.
The Spencer's?
Yeah.
Spencer's? No, I didn't get it from Spencer's. I didn't get it. Actually, my wife bought it for her birthday. But if you want to make fun of it, I mean, that's cool. But my wife bought it for me for my birthday. And
Where did she buy it from?
She
Did you save the receipt?
She saved her money and she bought me. But it's cool, man. Like, tear me down, whatever. It's.
Where did she buy it from?
I actually don't know. Somewhere online. You apparently can buy T-shirts online now. So.
Oh. You're kidding. They didn't do
Cliff-
that stuff back in the 90s when they made American Pie and stuff. They
I
didn't.
thought you could only get T-shirts at shows.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah, I'm in Montreal, Quebec now. I've been living here for 12 years.
Oh, do Canadians don't say the qua? They just say
And,
ca?
well, yeah, I mean, Quebecois French is different than France French, but it's weird. Like, so I only was exposed to Cub, the band Cub.
Great band.
Cliff,
Yes.
you're all
Loves that
about
band.
Cub.
I love that band. Yes.
Cliff, you loved Cub.
Yep.
My wife was super into Cub when she was younger. So it's weird. Like I've got exposed to a lot of these like Chicks Dig It too. I mean, I didn't really.
Best first record of any band ever. Man, that was such a great first record.
So there's a lot of cool bands that I've been getting into coming here, but yeah, Montreal, Quebec. I can kind of speak French now, which is cool.
Don't do that.
That's not cool. That's not even remotely cool.
Remember, Rick,
Oh.
Mr. Rick, where are you at?
I am outside of Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Still.
Did you move out of the bus? The caboose?
The caboose. I did.
Oh yeah,
move out
you
of
bought
the
a
caboose
house.
while
That's
ago.
right, dude. Your house is awesome. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Just bought a house. We got married, me and my wife, about almost 5 years now this summer. Just had a baby girl. She just turned 1. So
Yeah, that was
really great.
That was an awesome wedding. Oh wait,
You weren't there.
I
I
wasn't
there.
invited either.
The pictures were pretty good.
I was there, Rick. I thought it was fun. I guess I
You
was
were there, Josh.
Josh got invited? He was
Josh was there.
I was there, actually.
I knew Rick before any of you guys, and I didn't get invited.
It's
I
true.
don't think it was like nobody was invited. I think it's just like no one lives near each other. But we have a new guest on, don't we?
Oh, hey, there he is.
Hey.
Nice segue,
Hey.
Josh.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful segue.
We're gonna stop talking about that, and now we're gonna talk about this.
It
Awesome.
went from the hurt feelings of none of us being invited to Rick's wedding
Yeah,
to
he's good.
the guest.
He's good.
All right, guys. So we do have a guest here,
Sorry, guys.
Mr. Warren Cohen, who we did a little bit of touring with a long time ago in a little place called Europe.
Yep.
Warren, what's up, buddy?
Is Europe still there after we've been there?
No,
Barely.
No. Actually, no. We did. We went back. We went back 2 years
Yes.
later, and it just wasn't the same.
05, right?
No.
Nah, dude. 03.
Oh.
03.
What was the original, the first year then?
When did we go, Warren? What year was that?
2000.
Yep, it was
I'm
2000
thinking-
when we got back.
Yeah, early 2000s. If you went back in 2003 and it was 2 years after we went, I'm thinking 2001.
No.
I think it was 2000 because 2001.
2000.
Okay.
During that time
It
would
was
have
a-
been
it was-
right before.
It was a summer tour with a band from, I think they were from Belgium. What was their name? The Buckwheats, Bugweed, something like that.
Yeah,
Some
the
guys that
Buckwheats.
had a band that had supported the Intruders. They brought Mark over to drum for them, and they brought you along. And it was just one big giant party, right?
Yeah, it was
absolutely.
awesome. We all got along great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mike,
I mean,
you should give some reference here when he's speaking of Mark, and it's not.
Yeah. Most of us, I guess, aren't on that level with Marky Ramone to call him Mark, but we call him Mr. Ramone or Marky or however you want to refer to him. But Warren,
I recall one night. I forget where we were. It was right at the end of the tour, and my relationship with Mark was at the fracture point, and that tour just kind of put us over the edge, and he and I disagreed on something, and we got into this rather loud, extended argument, and it was one of you guys, I think it was Mike, came up to me and said, "I can't believe you're arguing with a Ramone. What are you doing? You're arguing with a Ramone. What? You're gonna be smitten. You can't argue with a Ramone."
That's like Cliff. Was that Cliff?
No?
No.
I
can't see
I don't know.
Mike doing that.
All the Huntingtons, they look alike, so it was hard to tell.
Hey, how come you all look like CJ?
that's true. That got
No,
that
but
got said.
that was a fun tour. We well, you know what? Look, it's 14 years later and we're still friends. So how sucky could it have been?
I always thought it was an experience. It was one of those life experiences where you just get to look back and say, I did that. It sucks so much that when we got back, remember we were kissing the road at the airport when we got back in the USA because it was just like, it was really crazy just to be somewhere where for 3.5 weeks, even a word on the side of a freaking Mack truck you don't recognize, nothing anytime at all for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well,
It
that
just
was
really
a tour.
starts messing.
That was a tour too, where like there was like a gas thing.
No,
No, it was because Rick was on the second tour. Yeah, that was a tour where we were stopped in the middle of highways because trucks were blocking the way to protest. I don't know what they were protesting. Something about
We
gas.
had it was the trucks had shut down Europe in protest, which caused petrol to be almost non-existent
Yeah,
because
right.
nothing was getting delivered to the pumps. And I remember calling promoters 2-3 cities ahead of time and saying, "Listen, you don't even have to pay us. Just give us gas
Just
so that we can get to the next gig."
Yeah.
And we had gone, I think we
They
had
took
crossed
you up on
into,
it.
was it Italy? Check me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to say Italy. If I'm wrong, who cares? And there was no trucker strike there, so petrol was plentiful. And we bought these 10, 15, 20-gallon, basically heavy-duty plastic bags. And we filled them with gas, petrol, to get them back to the wherever we had left all our vehicles, because we had basically condensed everything into one vehicle to get to Italy to do the show, to be able to pack the van with petrol. And if you guys that have been to Europe, some of the roads going from France to Italy, they're mountainous, they're hilly, they're windy, and we're basically riding on a petrol bomb going back to France or wherever we left our vehicles, and it was one of the most frightening, exhilarating tour memories for me.
So you're saying it was a good
one
tour.
thing you said, Cliff,
Good tour.
and I think you said that it was an adventure, a life experience for you, and maybe I'm just jaded, but I had been doing it at that point for I think 18 years, 17 years, and to me it was just another job.
Right.
And I wish I had that.
I mean, the going
perspective.
overseas, the going over the seas
but-
thing. We had been touring for a long time, but going overseas and doing that and being like just basically stranded is basically kind of how you felt, how we all felt.
We were stranded. We were in this one city. I remember running out of, or just having enough petrol, and everybody's going, we'll go one more exit. We'll find gas there, one more exit. And we ended up in some town in whatever country that probably hadn't seen Americans since the war. Do you remember that?
Wow.
And we had tried to find gas, and the only gas that was in town was being saved by the mayor, whose daughter was getting married, and he was. Do you guys remember this?
I don't remember that part. I just
Then-
remember driving
then-
around and being really
remembers
freaked out, like we weren't going to run out of gas.
He was hoarding all the town's petrol for his daughter's wedding guests so they can get back home to wherever they were going. And basically, gas became this was our payment. You know, like I said, we were calling venues 2-3 gigs ahead and making sure that, okay, you don't need to give us our food right, or just make sure we have gas to get to the next gig. But I wish I had that clear-cut, clean image of looking at it as a life experience, because at that point it was just another hurdle in the job. Man.
Yeah, but for Cliff and Mike and Josh, were you on that tour or that you weren't there?
Yeah.
Okay, so for you guys, especially Cliff and Mike, I mean that's like playing with Marky Ramone, touring with him in Europe. I mean,
It was a big deal.
For you guys, where do you go from there? I mean, was this after you played with Joey or before?
Both.
It was
We
after.
played with Joey
wasn't it?
twice. We played with Joey
Okay.
twice, and we already did one show, and then we did another one shortly after this tour.
For you guys, playing with Joey Ramone, those couple shows, and then touring with Marky Ramone and in Europe. I mean, that's the ultimate, since for you guys, right? I mean,
Well, yeah.
since you were kids, like.
I'll tell you, when I was on my very first tour with the full-on tour when I was in the band, was like early 2000 with the Huntingtons, and Cliff came out of the van off the band's cell phone, and he was like, "Josh, our Europe tour, you're not gonna guess who's playing drums for the other band." And I was just thinking, like, I don't know, Yuri from MXPX, who impressed me, and he was like Marky Ramone, and then I'm pissing my pants. I'm like, what? Us with Mark, but yeah, good stuff. Anyway, Warren, real quick.
Yes, Josh.
I don't want to know about stuff that I didn't know about from the tours that we were on. I want to know about the other tours that we weren't on.
You want dirt?
Come on, man, give it to me.
It's not his real hair.
Hey. All right. Mike's got the edit button. He's gonna cut that out.
Now, you said you had done this for 18 years at that point. Like, were you doing it with the Ramones, or were you doing it with somebody else?
Yeah, with the Ramones for I think 13 years, and then after that, whoever would hire me until like I said before, my relationship with Mark kind of cracked, and I cracked, and it was just time to do something else. And so I went back to school, and now I teach special ed.
It's awesome.
Oh,
Special ed PE, which is not a whole lot different from actually working with rock stars, because both groups of people. Wait! Both groups of people are very needy and in constant need of supervision. So
That's
both
been my
jobs-
experience too. Right, Josh?
Yes. Yes. Anyway, continue. Warren.
Yes.
Where you at?
What's the question, Josh? Oh, you want dirt?
Well, yeah. Well, no.
Well,
I know.
other
Can't
than
go from
the
that to
Ramones,
dirt,
like,
but
who else did you go on the road with?
The Misfits. Let's see, who else was there? I was I was Bobby's drum tech from Bad Religion for a while. I think we did some stuff with Rancid, the Groovy Ghoulies. Wow, a lot of bands. I did a spoken word tour with Ice-T,
Nice.
which was probably the highlight.
Were
Very
you
cool.
like, his mic tech, putting together?
I was his I was his tour manager.
Oh, cool. Hey, I have a question for you. Near the end of our tour, you were when you and Marky were fighting, and you were just gone. You were just like saying screw this, and you just purposefully didn't show up to be able to set up his drums, and because you were
I
just
was with a friend, a German girl.
yeah, right.
What would you
So,
do?
but right. But when you were gone, Marky was just sitting around like waiting for someone to put up his drums, and Danny, our drummer, Josh Zimmer, he was just kind of like, hey, and Marky was just like, yeah. And then he started putting the drums together, but like in ways like a tiny like where the hole and the shaft that go into the hole wasn't big enough part in the terminology there, but it just didn't work, And Josh was all like, I don't think he knows how to put drums together. And so then he was like, hey, do you want me to do that for you, man? He was like, and Mark was like, yeah, I mean, I can do it, but yeah, that'd be really nice, man. That'd be cool, thanks. And I was just wondering, how long ago had Marky had been that, was it just so many years of people doing it for Mark that he just forgot how to do it? Because he's a drummer. How does he not know how to put drums together?
I'll answer this
Thanks
question.
for ruining that chance of him ever coming on the show, by the way.
I'll answer this question with a story for you, Cliff, okay?
Okay.
Mark's wife had gone away and left him on his own, and he called me. And at this point, I was living in Connecticut, close to where I live now. I was outside of New Haven, and he was in Brooklyn. He calls me on the phone, and he says, Warren, I'm hungry. Oh, okay, Mark, go to the fridge. I'm sure Marion left you some food. Make yourself a sandwich, heat something up. No, there's nothing in the fridge. I don't want that. I want Indian food. Okay, well, I'm sure there's some menus in the house. Call. Order yourself something. They'll deliver it right to your door. I don't know how to do that. What do you mean you don't know how to do that? Long story short, I had to call the Indian place 2 blocks from his house in Brooklyn from Connecticut to order his food for him.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so hearing that Mark didn't know how to set up his drums after all those years, I kind of believe it, but I don't believe it. I'm sure it was more of an image thing for him at that point that, he didn't want. I mean, I give him a lot of credit. I mean, after the Ramones, he formed the Intruders, and he really took 2, 3, 4, 5 steps down and was playing in clubs that really must have been a humbling experience for him. So I think that was the last vestige of his dignity there, going, I might be playing in these crappy clubs, but I'm not setting up my drums.
Yeah.
So, he probably knew, but he didn't know. And going to answer your question a little, Cliff, I think that was a little passive-aggressive on my part, not showing up that night. I did have a date with a friend, and we were fighting, so yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah, it was funny to see, because the whole tour I'm all like trying to set up like an hour early, making sure my tones are just right, and everyone's like, Cliff, calm down, the whole time, And Mark's like, I don't know how to set my drums up. It was just weird.
He knows. He just didn't want to do it.
Huh.
He didn't want to do it.
Now, when we started that tour, we were driving in 2 separate minivans. I
Yep.
think, or
Yes.
some kind of European version of like a minivan, which was weird in and of itself. But for like the first 2 or 3 days, he kind of like didn't want to have anything to do with us, really. He kind of just stuck to himself, sat in the van a lot. Was that like a common thing, just sort of like feeling out who these people are? Because by the end of it, it was kind of cool. Everybody sort of got along. There was lots of jokes going on, lots of cool stuff, but that beginning was just like really awkward.
Yeah,
Is that
I think that
typical?
was the case a lot of times when after the Ramones and with the Intruders, and then going off on solo stuff like we did with you, where yeah, I guess there was a get to know you kind of phase, and it was usually 98% of the time ended up being very cool and relaxed and fun. I'll apologize for the awkwardness at the beginning. You guys were friendly and open right away, and I kind of knew that you were in awe of the rock star, but still, you guys were cool. I mean, I knew right away it was going to be a fun tour.
Cool. Yeah, it was just kind of weird. We're like, man, is this guy gonna just be that guy the whole time? But no, it worked out cool.
Remember that show, Mike, where you played drums?
Whoa.
Yes, in France,
Mike-
where about four drunk guys showed up, and we were like,
Yeah.
you know what?
And the whole time you're like, that's the expression on your face. And you're like,
Rick, you would have been proud.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
Good job, man.
Like Josh Zimmer was singing, and he was like walking up on the bar and stuff. There was more than 4 people there. It was funny because we thought it was gonna suck so bad, but then actually some people came, and then they got mad because they kind of started realizing we were just making fun and being stupid. People were all like, "You're ripping me off," and they were all upset at us and stuff. That was funny, but it was funny.
It was funny. It was fun, but that was a totally jerky thing to do on our end. For kids that actually live in Europe and are never going to see us ever, and might come out, and freaking Marky Ramone is playing as well, and we just throw it off as a total joke.
All right, and there's Mikey.
Yeah, we suck.
This is
Well,
awesome.
didn't I think I fell asleep on your stage at one night, didn't I?
with a newspaper and your underwear. And Switzerland, and Mike had USA boxers on, and we tried to get him to run across the stage with USA boxers because everybody in Switzerland hated us because we were from America. And so I'm the only one who did it, and then when I got back, you tried to pull my underwear down and have my dong hanging out. But
Oh,
it didn't
well,
work.
wait a second.
Hey,
Wait a second.
hey,
Didn't
hey,
you just
hey,
tell a
hey,
whole
hey.
big, huge story about that? Wait,
Yeah.
that's due. That's old. That's due, dude. You just told a
What's
story about how
what's
you
good for the
chick.
goose?
How I what?
Come on. The entire beginning of this episode was how you pantsed a girl in the mall 3 times.
but I
3
wasn't
times.
getting pantsed. I had.
3 times.
I
In
but
front
I
of her
was in my
boyfriend.
boxers, and he tried to pull my pants down. My
Yeah,
my
man. But
boxers,
look,
man.
that's rock and roll. But
I held on to it though. I didn't show anything. Maybe a little bit of my butt. That was it. He didn't get me.
So Warren, I don't know if you guys had brought this up before, but how many years were you with Marky? Were you his tech?
All told, maybe about 6 or 7. Couple of years with the Ramones, and then after with the Intruders and other solo projects.
Oh
And
wow.
you made enough money. He paid you enough where you didn't have to work.
No, I had to work. When I came home, I had a painting business. I did some siding.
Nice.
I also, like I said, I ended up working at a school where I am now. I had a really cool relationship with the director at the time. And basically, whenever I was home, I was able just to show up and maybe like a long-term sub. So yeah, no, I had to work. The Ramones didn't really pay very well either. They did give you a retainer when they weren't on the road, so you didn't work with anybody else. But it was a small retainer, certainly not enough to live lavishly.
Yeah.
How long were you with Bad Religion?
Just a tour.
Just a tour.
That's all.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
did you go to any of the like the major shows that they did, like in South America or anything like that? Those like crazy sized crowds. Were you at any of that stuff?
One of the first shows the Intruders did with Mark's project right after the Ramones was one of the first shows we did was in South America. It was a show with the Pistols. Bad Religion was there. I think Cypress Hill might have been there. Remember Cypress Hill?
Whoa.
The rap band, the white rap band from
Yep.
Queens.
Yep.
And that's where we met Bobby. And then a couple years later, we did the Warped Tour together.
Wow, that's cool.
And
Where was the show? Where was the
South
show
American
that
shows
pulling
were
off Marky's
amazing.
hair? Where was the show that Marky's hair started getting, crowd started pulling on his hair and he was all upset? What was that show?
Where kids were on the stage?
No. Like they were going out to their vehicle and they were getting all crowded around them or something, and then like Marky was afraid they were going to pull his wig off or something. I remember you telling me.
Okay, hang on. Check. Hold on, Cliff. Check. It's not a wig. It's a weave. Okay?
Yeah, I know. Size curling. Right.
I don't know. That could have been.
From that stuff comes off pretty quick. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that could have been 100 different places, 100 different times. I don't know specifically which show you're referring to.
I just remember you telling me a story about.
But he was
a huge show.
He was very protective of the piece. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I understand. Yeah.
You know, we used to do this thing in the van. You know, this kind of fake blowjob kind of thing where you grab your buddy's head and bob it up and down on your dick. And one time I did that with Mark, and I felt like a skull cap around his head, where the weave kind of attached to. Whoa. And I had to let go really quick, afraid I would get burned or something. I mean, I knew it was there, but actually touching it in real life was not something I ever want to do again. In Florida one time, we had a couple of days off, and Mark stayed at my father's house with me. And my dad lived he's since passed, but he lived in Boca Raton, which was about 40 minutes south of West Palm Beach, where Cy Sperling has one of his offices, nationwide offices. And Cy Sperling is a New York legend when it comes to hair replacement.
Yep.
So I'm on the phone one day with Mark's wife, Marion, and she tells me that Mark has an appointment up in West Palm Beach. Would I be able to take him up there? And I said to her, what's an appointment for? And I knew what it was, but I needed to hear her say, it's for the piece, it's for the weave, it's at Cy Sperling's. And we went back and forth, and she said, Warren, just take him up to the appointment. I'll give you the address. But Marion, I need to know what kind of an appointment it is. Are we going to be there for an hour? Are we going to be there for 2 hours? Can I take my dad? Can we get lunch? And finally, I got her to crack, and she said, you know what it's for. It's for Cy Sperling. So I felt good. I got somebody in the inner circle to go, yep, it's the weave.
Well, I don't. So why though? That's the question.
It's the Ramones. You gotta have hair. You can't be bald in the Ramones.
Well, have you ever seen a picture of Mark? Have you ever seen a picture of Mark's brother Fred?
No.
Mark has a twin.
Freddie Ramone?
Twin
Mark
twin brother, right?
Fred.
Yeah.
And
I know this because I read the first 2 chapters of his book. I'm gonna finish it, but yeah.
And Fred is cue ball, and if you look at Fred, you'll see Mark without hair. It's perfect. And Chris sent me a link a couple of weeks ago of I guess a couple of people were outside protesting at Mark's book signing about the wig, and it was hysterical. And I guess there's also Chris told me about a Facebook page dedicated to the wig, Mark's wig.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Very funny.
They were protesting outside the wig? Why were they
I don't know. Who knows?
That's crazy.
Obviously, Ramones fans are either for Mark or they're pissed at him for selling pasta sauce and ice cream and cookies, or they love him because he's Marky Ramone. And I guess this was that one faction or a part of the faction that was pissed at him, so they protested.
Did they wear wigs?
Crazy.
Where? I think it was in Arizona.
No. Maybe I was just picturing them actually wearing Marky Ramone wigs and then and taking them off and putting them back on.
No.
I could picture these people doing that.
If I could figure it out, is there a way to put up a link to a picture, Mike?
Yeah. Do you get it on your screen and I'll walk you through it.
Oh, okay.
I hope you guys didn't want Marky on at some point.
What are you talking about? He's not going to watch this. He's not going to spend time watching this.
I don't know, man.
Warren, were you on the last Ramones tour, like the one that they called the final tour?
The Lollapalooza tour, yeah.
No,
Well,
the
not
one
even-
before that.
Yeah,
The
before
real
that.
club show, because Mike, that's when you and I saw him. That was so awesome.
Yeah.
We saw him
Yeah.
at it's like one of the last shows they ever had at like '96.
Yeah, it was you, me,
There were a
Dan.
couple of
Go ahead,
there
Warren.
were a couple of versions of the last tour. I think because shit just kept getting added. I think there was a U.S. tour at the beginning, and sometime in January maybe, and then a whole bunch of shows got added, and we did some stuff in the South in maybe April of that year. And we thought that was the last show, and then the Lollapalooza thing happened, and that was the last show, and the show in L.A., I guess, wrapped it up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know nothing about having last shows, that's for sure.
Well, we had a last
10 of
show.
them.
It was 10 years ago. It was the first last show.
We've had about
And they keep getting worse. They keep getting worse.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The show we played, that crappy little show that raised all that money for Mike was actually really cool. That was actually good. We were really on fire at that show. That was awesome.
Was that the one Goaty Hook was at, or yeah?
That was a fun show, even though I didn't play it. I didn't play the New York one either.
I'm gonna get ready to send the link to this hangout out to our viewing audience here, and so we might get a couple other people join us. Maybe not. Maybe nobody's watching. Maybe Thursday night is like, I don't know, CSI Miami or something, and people are doing that. But I'm gonna shoot it out there, and
CSI Miami.
I don't know. I don't watch that
Mike,
stuff.
CSI Miami.
Mike,
Is that on anymore? I don't know.
This is 2015, man. Like,
I know. Well, CSI Quebec. I don't know. But in any case, I'm going to shoot.
maybe everybody's watching Dallas.
I'm going to shoot the link out. If people want to join, they can join. Warren, give me a second here.
We can get 4 more people in, basically.
Warren,
Yeah.
question for you. What do you think? Like, you've been around a lot of like legends. Bad Religion, Ramones. What do you think about like punk rock now? Is punk dead, or like what's your thought? Are you interested at all about any like new punk rock bands that might be trying to do something these days, or like what do you find yourself listening to? Like are you more with the old stuff?
I hope punk isn't dead. I mean, I'm 55 and I still like it short, loud, and fast.
Yeah.
As far as what I listen to, I'm pretty jaded. I listen to the stuff I listened to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think that some of the only real new band that I've picked up on, I like Teenage Bottle Rocket. I like I like the Street Dogs. Chris has got a new record out, which is really good. And I think my iTunes is just filled with stuff from the 80s and the 90s. I don't think there's anything new and exciting and blowing me away that like when I was a kid and younger and going, oh my God, this is 180 degrees from what's happening now. And I don't think there's anything like that. The newer bands, I think, are just rehashing what was done 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that's true in all genres.
Well, here's a downer question for you, and this is something I hope you don't mind I'm asking you this, but every time I always want to ask you, so I'm just going to ask you. Does it blow your mind that so many of them are gone in the Ramones?
Is that for me, Cliff?
Yeah. Because it blows my mind.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were Ramones to you, but John was a friend of mine, and think about when you've lost a friend. It's at a different level, I think, for me because I lost a friend, a guy that I knew since 1982. We went to World Series games together. We baseball card shows together. Toured the world together. Yeah, so I lost a friend. And yeah, losing the Ramones, it's like any other music star or or actor, or TV actor that you knew as a kid, and then they die, and it kind of makes your own mortality that much larger, and it's not a pleasant thing.
I wanted to ask you about
something?
that. Well,
can we talk about something a little more uplifting, like?
Well, hey! Can I ask you real quick, kind of on that same thing? You just mentioned the World Series. You know, with John, like, was it just you and John that were going to the games when you guys were on tour and stuff, or off tour?
That was, help me with the year, Mr. Blackway. That was the Phillies Blue Jays. Wait a second. I've got the cup right here. 1993. See that?
Whoa, Josh.
Hey!
Whoa.
So that was 1993. No, it was John, myself, my nephew Corey, who now works at Major League Baseball, and
yes,
my
he
friend
came to our show. I met that guy.
What's that?
I remember him. He came to that show, right, with Screeching Weasel?
Yeah, he did. He came to your show in New York, and we had been talking about it for a couple of weeks, and the Ramones had some time off. We were home, and I think I said to John, "Do you want to go to a World Series game?" He said, "Sure, let's go." And we just packed into Rod's car, and we drove down. We didn't have tickets. We scalped tickets outside the ballpark, and it was the night that the Ramones were on The Simpsons.
Oh,
I remember at one point John looked over at the clock and said, "Hey, right now I'm on TV."
Have you been to Cooperstown lately?
I haven't been there in probably about 10 years.
Oh yeah, I was there this summer. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
my
It's so
family
nice.
my family used to have a summer house up in oh my God, I can't think of the name of the town now. Anyways, it's a town very close to Cooperstown, and so I used to go up there regularly.
I'm in Montreal, and
Oneonta, that's where the house was. Oneonta.
I'm in Montreal, and I wish baseball was still here. I mean, there's been some talk about bringing it back here, but I mean, you should see this. You should see the stadium that the Expos used to have play in. It's ridiculous.
The Olympic Stadium.
Yeah, Olympic, the Big O. I mean, there's no way you go in there, and even with 40,000 people, 50,000 people, it still looks like nobody's there. So, I mean, I don't know how they were able to even keep it going as long as they did, but you hear a lot of everybody. If you talk baseball up here, I mean, everything's hockey here, but you find some people that want to talk baseball. I mean, they're just like, the year that the Expos, before the strike, I mean, they were geared up to do something. I mean,
they're
really,
still bitter about that, aren't they?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I mean,
but that was back when professional sports were still cool and it wasn't all ruined by money.
Honestly, the strike, I don't know. After the strike, it just wasn't the same. Wasn't the same after that.
Hey, is that Dustin in the room? Do I see him?
That's Russ. Russ, are you here, bud?
Oh, Russ.
Hey guys.
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
I thought that was
Good.
Dustin.
How are you?
Whitecloth.
Pretty good.
Cool.
Hey, man.
So who is Russ?
I'm just a fan of the band.
Right on, man.
Gotcha.
From
We
Fargo,
got one
North
fan.
Dakota.
Whoa, from
From
Fargo?
North Dakota? Oh,
Yes.
dude.
I saw the Huntingtons in Bismarck.
Were you at that show when we tried to play a show and we couldn't? We got in a car accident on the way there, and then we ended up not having the show, and then people just bought stuff out of our van. Were you there?
No, I wasn't there for that.
That was cool. That was awesome.
Which version of the Huntingtons did you see? It could have been out of 50 people. Like, do you remember? Do you remember who played?
Yeah, I believe it was Mike, Josh, you, Andy, and Rick.
Oh yeah, so the good ones. Okay. No, I'm kidding. Cliff, we all know we were nothing after you. Come on.
Man, it's all
We
good.
know.
I don't care. You don't have,
No.
Is there a Huntington that's been on the stage for every Huntington show?
No.
No.
There's not one.
So from point A, you can't get to point Z, huh?
No.
Correct. Well,
Mike
you can.
almost
Yeah.
did, but he-
Mike and I were kind of a tag team there. So
Who's the closest? Who's got the most Huntington shows?
I would say me.
Oh, jeez.
It would have to be Mike.
Yeah.
It'd have to be Mike
Russ.
because Mike. It'd have to be
Russ.
Mike because Mike did every single one until I left the band, and then
Mike took off for like 8
he
months.
took off for right. He
When
took
it
off
was
for like a
when it
year.
was 8 months of nonstop touring, though.
That's correct. He took off for that, but he was there for when he came back. Then he was there from then on, even when I was gone for a couple years, and when you guys were touring all the time. It has to be him.
Russ, you're in North Dakota, you said?
Yep.
I don't remember going to North Dakota. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, H's basement. Is that where it was?
This was at the Light Club at the Newson Community Church.
Some
It was
community
with
church.
the Dingies.
The Dingies.
Dingies.
Did
I almost thought I remembered that show because
Was this New Year's Eve?
No.
I thought we
Uh,
played with the Dingies in L.A. That's the only time.
yeah, L.A. was New Year's Eve. Yeah. Yeah, no, I
remember
almost
that.
remember this North Dakota show because we were driving there, and this was a non-Cliff tour. This was a Andy and Rick tour, and Jen ran out of gas.
Yes,
Mike,
I remember that.
Yeah, but Mike, I'm sure it was your fault.
Absolutely. I had
Jen-
not stopped playing
Jen,
Zelda long enough to look at the gas.
Jen, I love you, but I'm sure it was Mike's fault.
I take full blame.
So Russ, how did the show go, man? Did we do good? Did we do good that night, or did we
Yes.
suck? Or
It was.
this
but
wasn't. This was not the show. Was this? Because there was a period where our van got broken into, our trailer got broken into, and we had tons and tons of stuff stolen. So we actually had to play a bunch of shows with like guitars. We would have to borrow the like
You had
other
to borrow
band
everything
stuff.
almost.
So Josh and I were having guitars with the straps that like only went down to here, trying to play like super fast Huntington songs, and Mike's playing like who knows what Mike's, I don't know, like a PV metal bass or something like for metal.
Warlock.
Was it one of those shows, or did we have like our own stuff in North Dakota?
What Andy's asking is, was he playing a white?
Was I playing a
white guitar?
Yeah.
Was he
That's
playing white?
I don't remember if it was white, but
Cliff,
you
Cliff,
didn't look uncomfortable.
That's good. Cliff, I had a Telecaster, man, a beautiful Telecaster, and got stolen in that robbery. I think it was in Texas, right? We got robbed?
Oh, yeah,
Dallas.
it was
in
Texas.
Dallas.
I've never seen Mike mad except one time in the whole time I've ever been around him. I go out to the van that morning, and I noticed the lock is like off of the trailer, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
That was the worst feeling.
I opened the trailer, half our stuff's gone. So I'm like, oh man, we got robbed. I go upstairs, I went up, told Mike, and I think you just screamed. I don't remember, like, I think you
Screamed
just
like a girl, like high
No,
pitched, or was it like
No,
big
like,
little
no,
man?
he was
was
Mike
raging.
freaked. Mike was raging, dude. So he went outside. I remember I didn't go with. I was like too freaked out. I was
Took
like,
a
man,
lot of years to build up to that stuff, man.
So-
Have it all just taken from you? That's horrible.
Mike goes outside. I'm looking at him through the window, and he looks in the trailer, slams the door. He's just like screaming out in the parking lot. I'm like, this might not be a good time to,
Ask for a raise.
talk to Mike. Yeah.
Tell him
Hey,
I quit.
Mike, you know how I'm making nothing? Can I have a raise?
I was,
that was a crazy night.
Hey, newbies only get $100 a week.
You're not a real touring band unless you've had your shit stolen or caught on fire on the road.
Yeah.
It's true, man.
So
Hey,
Russ,
you guys got robbed on our Europe tour. I remember your computer got stolen, right, Warren?
Oh yeah, all their money got stolen.
Yeah. Where what? That was in Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing ever gets taken from you in Milan.
That was everything was stolen from you guys that same night that we were at that house where it was like super cold and we were freezing and we had to all sleep together on one bed to stay warm. And it was the next morning that I think that when that was discovered.
Josh,
Good
he had that
times.
problem too, man. Do you remember on our tour, it was like freezing in some spots. Like, they don't heat homes over there. It's like the worst. They really don't.
We need to get some Europeans on here so they can stick up for their countries. But otherwise, we're just going to say that they all suck.
Whoa. Whoa, Josh.
Whoa.
You can't diss a continent like that.
What are you going to do?
That explains those nights, but what about all the other nights you guys were snuggling up in perfectly warming temperatures? Like that's
I don't remember those shows.
There are many a times I'd come into the hotel room and Josh and Rick are snuggled up together and
Oh yeah.
very
That's
awkward
cute.
stuff.
That's really cute.
Hey, you know your
Awkward
family.
stuff.
You know what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
Why did you just turn Italian, Rick?
A little bit.
This guy wants. Russ,
Hey, I had to
Russ.
share a bed with Mark once, and I woke up for some reason in the middle of the night, and his hand was on my head. And Mark,
Did he
what are you
have-
doing? He goes, that's the way I sleep with my wife, with my hand on her head. I am not your wife.
These things,
That's what he
these
said?
things
Off
happen.
my head.
Did you have a little bit of morning stiffy going on there too?
Oh, gosh.
I have to say, I have a deeper respect for Mike, you know, and Mike and Jen being on tour together for that long with a bunch of guys. Like, you know, at the time, you're kind of like, you know, the married couple is like, you're kind of annoyed. But now it's like after being married for 12 years, I can't imagine like trying to like, you know, make that work on tour, like, you know, riding in a stinky van where dudes are just like smelling all day and like
It's a different situation. Like
not-
Mike and Jen, they're a totally different situation compared to like
I just can't
Mark
imagine.
and Mark and Mary and.
Oh,
you
they're
know,
in a bus. They're probably
They were what? They had their own room every night,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
we're all like crammed into
Yeah.
you know.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I have a newfound respect for women who, you know, are able to take on the tour lifestyle for months at a time. I wouldn't want to do it.
Me
I'm not-
neither.
Hey,
I wouldn't even want to do it
Wouldn't wanna do
now. Like I would not. If someone walked up to me and was like, "We'll give you like, you know, we'll pay your salary for a year to go on tour," I wouldn't want to do it.
no, because when you got back, you wouldn't have your job anymore. So why would you do it?
Well, I'm just saying, like hypothetically, like I wouldn't want to be on tour. Like I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that just the uncertainty of the shows. You know, like one show we'd show up and there'd be like hundreds of kids, and then the next day we show up and there's like 3 people and they have no idea who we are, and you know that's just
Like
It's
Russ Conklin.
pretty depressing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
were
it's
all
fun.
kids we were all kids
Yeah.
back
I
then.
mean, overall,
It's the kind of stuff you do when you're
amazing.
young, so that when you're older, you
Exactly.
can look back and you won't have regrets of.
Exactly.
Because you know,
It's
if
amazing.
none of us ever did it, we'd be here now and we'd be thinking, if
Yeah.
only blah blah blah, if only blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
The fact that you did it very much so helps us not to have like midlife crisis and all that kind of stuff because
Yeah.
we don't think about what if.
For sure, I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I just now, it's just thinking about being married and on the road
you're
and
not,
stuff.
You're not a kid now.
Yeah,
You have kids.
true, true,
So,
true.
yep.
Warren, do you agree? Do you agree with that, Warren? Would you like say that
About
those days were the bomb and you're happy? But I know you're happy now. You got awesome.
about
Right.
4 or 5 years after I retired, after I left the road and I had started teaching, I got asked by one of my cousins, a younger cousin, to come overseas with his band and tour manage his band. And they were doing, I think, 10 shows in the UK, and I figured it was over the Christmas break. I wasn't missing any time from my job as a teacher. And I figured, yeah, how bad could it be? I'll make a few dollars. I'll go see England one more time. And it was the most miserable 10 days I ever had. I swore to myself I would never, I don't even want to leave my driveway anymore. But, going overseas, I was 10 years younger. I was, 45 at that point. And my cousin's band, they were in their early 20s, late teens, and their music is for the preteen girl. And so, I had nobody.
It's a different world. It's a different world.
and it was miserable. And plus, you know, by that point, I think my tolerance had dwindled for brain dead people and tour life and living out of a suitcase, and I couldn't wait to get home. And I told myself I will never do it again. And I've had opportunities since then to go on the road, and it's just nothing I want to do. But yeah, it was a blast, and it's nothing I would ever want to say. You know, if I ever get a chance to go in the Wayback Machine, I would never give it up. But I'm glad I did it. I saw the world, but you know what? It turned into a job very quickly. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I had the opportunity. Met a lot of cool people, and got to see the world for free.
Yeah.
From a van window.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
One thing I was curious about, Warren, was when you're on tour, when you were out with, at least with the Ramones, you see the documentary, you hear like the rumors about the relationships and how fractured they were. I mean, was it fun being on tour with them, or was it weird because of that stuff for you as a roadie, or how did that stuff play out?
My job had me with the band. I was driving the van, so I spent even more time with the band than the rest of the crew. But it was just what I knew. You know, when I started working for them, John and Joey were not friendly, so it was not anything that I knew any different. You know, it was always this way.
Yeah.
And was it uncomfortable? Yeah. It was awkward, and you know, I've heard many people tell the same story. You know, John had something to say to Joey, and he would say to Monty or to me or to Mark and tell Joey this, and then Joey'd say tell John that, and that's 100% accurate. And yeah, but it was what we knew, so it was. I didn't know any different. I didn't know them to get along, so it wasn't a big deal. But it was tension. It was awkward. I got Joey in the last couple of tours needed a lot of help, and so he offered me a few dollars a show to help him set up his boombox so he can get his voice ready for the show. Put out a cup of tea. I think I helped him tape his ankle, and John found out that I was doing it, and he got really upset and reminded me that it was him who hired me. I'm your friend, not Joey. Don't help him. If you're going to help anybody, help me. But John, he's paying me $30 a show. Okay. That was the end of that.
Wow.
Oh.
So you ended up being closer to John then, I guess, or?
Well, like I said, you know, John, we were friends before I was working for them.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't get any closer with him. Well, I guess I did. Maybe I did.
Yeah.
You know, you're out on the road 180 shows a year.
It's crazy.
Warren, I got a pic that you sent to me. I'm going to share it. I think this is
came
the.
up?
Yeah, this is the.
This is this picture.
It's like a did you say it was like a protest or something?
Well, you show the picture and you tell me what it looks like.
All right. Well,
How do I see it?
Let's take a look here. Hold on a sec. All right. Are you guys seeing this at all?
Well, it's pretty small. How do I make it bigger?
Well, I kind of can't make her bigger.
Just
I mean, it says.
All right, that's what she said. That's what she said. But can you make it just stay on the page and not?
If you guys all
Stop talking. All right.
Stop blabbing for a second. All right, it says, when I showed up to Skylight Books for Marky Ramone's autograph signing, there were protesters protesting Marky. They were protesting his wig, and there's a dude there in a leather jacket and some goofy looking hat that says "Wig on, wig off, I wig out." And
No, I don't wanna something no more. What's that? Go back.
Hold on a sec. It says I don't wanna something head no more. I'll have to look at it in a second here, but yeah, those are the pictures of a handful of would-be protesters. Yeah. That's real, huh, Warren?
Yeah, it's apparently it happened.
That's
Huh.
crazy.
That's very funny.
That is.
What?
Say Pinhead?
That was.
I think it says Pinhead.
Is that what it was? Pinhead something or the other?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to call it up here on my screen where you see it. I don't want a pinhead no more. Yeah, that's what it says.
That sounds like a European phrase. You know, it doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah, they're missing a couple, words, basically. Like those guys up in Canada do. They kind of cut out a couple words up there and then they think it makes sense. Yeah.
Punk rock legends from USA.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Man.
absolute awesome show.
Guys, punk rock is still big in Montreal. It's crazy. Like, bands actually, I've heard a lot of bands make sure they come to Montreal. The French kids, they love their punk rock still. It's pretty cool. I mean, did you guys ever play Montreal?
No, not
sure?
much of a punk town.
No, not what?
It's not much of a punk town. No, we
much
played in,
The Belgians were from there. What are you talking about?
I know.
Oh yeah, Davey. Yeah.
Yep.
I just added him on Facebook. I'm gonna probably go hang out with him sometime this summer. He's into motorcycles. So
Does he still have Johnny Ramone hair?
I don't think so. I don't know. Nice guy, man. He's one of the nicest guys in the world
Yep.
The Belgians.
that I've met anyway. No, he's a really nice guy. He actually he came down to Delaware with me one time for some reason. He was at my parents' house. I'm still foggy on a lot of these connections, like how I know people. For some reason, I know that Davey was there at my house, my parents' house in Delaware, with his van, and he had a mattress in the back. He slept in it. I don't know.
That's creepy. That's a little creepy there.
Well, he went on these surfing trips, so he'd go to Rockaway Beach and he'd surf all over New York and then sleep in his van. It's pretty cool. If you're into that, Josh.
Can you surf in
into
New
that.
York?
Hook me up. Give me his number.
Hey, Mike, you there, Mike? Mr. Holt, there you
Yes,
go.
sir. What's up?
Okay.
My dog is being kind of a jerk right now, so I had to mute a little bit there.
Come on. Come on.
I know. Can't control anything here.
Maybe Cliff could come pants him and.
That's right.
Shut him up right away.
Yeah.
So, Warren, like a couple days ago, you posted a bunch of photographs of tour passes or something from forever ago. And one of them, or maybe two of them, said Soundgarden. Did Ramones tour with Soundgarden, or did you do that tour on your own?
Come on, man. You know they tour with Soundgarden.
I don't know that. What are you crazy?
Soundgarden was no, we did a bunch of shows with them on the big day out in Australia, and I think that's when the bands first met and crossed paths.
But
And then of course they did the Lollapalooza thing.
Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam, they had a relationship, right? Or at least I know Eddie Vedder was a huge Ramones fan, and I think was it hang
on. Raise your hand if you've played Stratomatic baseball in a hotel room with Johnny Ramone and Eddie Vedder in South America.
No.
Oh, wait. That wasn't. No, it was something else.
Different game.
I'm
same
sorry,
guys.
I cut you off. I apologize.
No, that's cool.
2 ears, one mouth. Got
That's
to use
true.
them proportionally. I'm sorry.
Hey, Dustin is on the show now.
Yes, I am.
There he
Hey,
is.
buddy.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
I figured out how to use it on my phone.
Right.
Oh.
You must be Canadian.
Hey, now.
Are you
You
still
hoser?
Are you still in Illinois?
Yes, I am.
Right on, man. How's sis?
She's not too bad.
Good,
Keeping
good.
busy, working for an insurance company.
Right on, man.
I'm still at the
All
record
right.
shop, so.
Yeah, Dustin works in a record shop. How cool is that? He's like the only one
Started
out
part-time,
there
and
that
now
works
I
in a
run
record
it.
shop.
So.
Is it Top 5 Records, man?
Tough.
No, it's Co-op Records. You bought Motley Crue's that horrible tattoo record there one time when you were in town.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bought that record
Yeah.
on tour. Did I buy it or did Cliff buy it?
No, I don't know. Like I
I mean,
brought
it's
you
a
guys.
terrible record, but I remember buying it.
Yeah, and like Fred and the gang.
Fred.
All of you guys came, and I hooked you up with
Nice.
a nice discount back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old days.
Fred. So that was a Fred and the Savages tour.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
one of the times I hosted everybody.
Nice.
That was when I think that was right after Cornerstone,
Nice.
if I remember right.
So Dustin and I hung out at Riot Fest in Chicago this past summer.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was pretty awesome. Warren, who's on, if you see Dustin down there on the bottom of the screen, right next to you, there's Warren. Say hi, Warren.
Hi, Warren.
Or have you been listening all along, and Dustin?
Yes.
Okay, you've been paying attention, so you know who Warren is.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Shut up.
You're putting him in an awkward position, Josh.
Well, no, I was saying like Warren, like he was gonna come out to Riot Fest this past year, and we were all gonna hang out and party, and Marky Ramone was supposed to play it, and we were all stoked, like this is gonna be awesome. And then not only does Marky Ramone not show up, but Warren doesn't show up either, and so it's just me and Dustin.
And Nate.
Was that the Riot Fest that Brand New is supposed to be on, Josh? I think that was that's the aforementioned cousin band.
Oh, your
okay.
your cousins and Brand New?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Brand New. They're from where are they from?
Long
Yeah.
Island.
Yeah, they have a. Yeah, I remember those guys back in the olden days.
Didn't you really like them?
No,
I'm
no.
still a fan.
Oh,
Well,
you did? Oh.
Brand New's good. They have a big rivalry with.
Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
With
but
who?
Ford Confessional something.
Oh, all those gay wad, crappy.
Hey, that's his cousin, man.
Lame.
Oh,
Okay,
No, that
Oh,
doesn't.
Brett?
Is this like that lame pop emo bullcrap sound?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly
Brand
exactly what it is.
Brand
No,
New.
I think Brand New is. I think Brand New is actually a really good band. Cliff's gonna. He would hate them from the time he woke up to the time he went to bed. But
No,
yeah, I actually really like Brand New a lot. I think they're.
Yeah.
I think
They're good.
And they've been around for a long time, man.
I'm
I
actually
remember.
surprised that Josh likes them. Do you like them, Josh?
No,
Why
Josh.
would- what?
Josh hates them. He's
What?
gotta hate them.
Come
Josh
on.
loves Weezer.
Come on.
The
Dustin,
song,
you know how much
Mike.
I couldn't
Andrew
yell boo loud
WK.
enough.
That's his guy.
Mike, remember when we bought a Weezer sticker for the van and Josh wrote like "sucks" on it? We were really mad.
Yeah.
And we
yeah.
bought. We stopped at a record store the day Weezer's Maladroit album came out. And we were
Oh,
me and you.
jeez.
And Rick, I think,
I
was
remember
excited,
that.
but you and I were like super excited, man. We were like, and Rick, all this time leading up to this, he's like, Weezer sucks, Weezer sucks, Weezer sucks. And we're like, no, man, we get that album, and me and you just like, it was so disappointing, but we couldn't show Josh in our face that we were disappointed because then he would win. So we were just like, we were pretending that it's good when we both knew it was not good.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
there's
for like
couple,
2 or 3 straight weeks, that's all we would play, and we would
yeah,
play.
there was a
and we
couple.
would-
There was
Yeah.
a couple good songs in that album. A couple good songs. But it was not Rick. Yeah, Josh's passionate hate for Weezer. That was a theme in our in the band and in
So
the band.
after
for a
all
long
these
time.
years, you can finally admit I win.
No, I mean,
no, no.
what the weirdest thing to me, Josh, is you surf. You're a surfer, dude. You like to hang, but you don't like the Blue album. I don't get it.
Dude,
Like,
I
that's
don't hate
pure-
the Blue album. Dustin,
Okay.
tell him. We went
Plus-
to go.
plus
You like
Pinkerton.
Surf Wax America, but that was about
I
it.
like that
think.
song,
like-
but you know
it's
that
about-
song.
It's about surfing, so I like it. But Pinkerton, you gotta give Pinkerton its due, Josh.
Come on.
You gotta admit
Okay,
it.
Josh
Please.
did like Weezer over The Cure, which Mike, I know you'll take offense to that
Did.
too.
Yeah.
You can count me on that one too.
That does not get him any points at all. Not even.
Yeah, exactly. He
But we should
Oh,
all
yeah,
agree
yeah.
that the
Wanted
pop emo
to see
sound
The Cure.
sucks.
We didn't really actually watch. We left after like one song of The Cure because we
Was
had,
that when he was fat?
we wanted to go do
he
other
kept
stuff.
shouting out
Sorry, Mike.
Prime as
Sorry, dude.
songs during their set. I know that.
Wait,
Cliff,
you went to
Cliff,
see
what do
The
you mean?
Cure
Was
live?
that when?
Well, no, the singer from The Cure.
Yeah,
when
but-
you went to go see him live.
We were at Riot Fest, and the
Oh,
Cure
Yeah, he was in
one of the
Chicago
bands.
last summer.
The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
was Robert the singer fat then?
Yeah,
I think he has been for about a decade.
Well, he used to be real skinny.
It's
During
his
the
hair.
hot
His hair.
early
It's the
90s.
hair.
Hold on, Warren. Wait. Question: Which Misfits tours were you? I mean, you weren't with Danzig at all, were you? That would be like you would have been like a
no,
little
but
kid.
That's a
but-
different band, Josh.
we snuck
I know
into
that.
his mother's house in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
And I was no, there was with the it was with the Doyle, Jerry, Michael Graves, Dr. Chud Misfits.
Ew.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
Yeah.
Warren, because Cliff was such a fan of the other Misfits.
No, I wasn't.
Those
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Andy
Ooh.
froze.
All right.
That's what that Canadian phone service is going to do to you.
Well, hey, it was happening to me on the iPhone last week too. That's why I got this computer set up so it wouldn't do it.
So while we got Warren in here and we're talking about Weezer and Cure and all the basically the best bands that have ever walked the earth.
I'm out of here.
No.
Weezer was doing things when you were touring with Ramones. Was there any kind of like feeling from those guys about what was happening at that point, like early '90s, mid '90s music, Warren, like with Ramones, as far as like what they thought was good and what was awful?
I think that's where Chris came in, being so much younger than the other guys in the band, and his influence on what the band listened to was pretty great. He turned them on to Tom Waits and Soundgarden. But as far as what I know as his friend, I know John listened to, Elvis and the Beatles. He listened to the Doors. He wasn't really into peers, contemporaries at the time. I don't think he would walk into his house and find the Buzzcocks on his jukebox. Joey was a little more eclectic when it came to music. He knew about it, which bands to listen to.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like where at least some of us are too. Like, I don't really listen to anything that's new. I don't know.
Unless it's a new Accept or Kiss album, count me out.
Well,
Well,
Warren nailed it when he said Teenage Bottle Rocket. That's like the one
Oh yeah.
There's a
really
lot-
excited. New record coming out like later this month.
That might be the only, air quote new band that I like, and they're not even that new.
Nah, been around a little bit.
There's some good.
It's just-
There's good new hip hop, but
That's nice.
you
I'm
were
I'm
Ice
sure
T, man. You were with Ice T. Come on.
I was that was one of the coolest things I ever did, man. We did Mark's label for his first record was Thirsty Ear, a small label out of New York, and they had in their catalog Henry Rollins' spoken word a couple of his early spoken word albums, and I guess through Rollins I got hooked up with Ice-T to do a spoken word tour, small tour, maybe like 6 or 7 colleges
Yeah.
in the Midwest, and he's just such a cool dude, Ice-T, so cool, so nice.
I was listening to like.
He was super nice when we met him.
I was
Was it
listening to his
Ice-T?
second album.
Was it Ice-T or Ice Tray or Ice Cube? Which is the guy with the 7-foot-tall blonde wife?
That's
that's
Ice T.
Ice-T.
Ice-T.
That's Ice-T. Yeah, Ice-T.
Yeah.
I could go for some iced tea right now.
Hey, do you guys new punk rock bands? Have you guys ever heard the Copyrights? They're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Copyrights? That's
Adam Fletcher.
that's
Yep.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, it's all right. It's pretty good.
No, it's really good.
Yep. I mean, it's like that's the only other band to come around since Teenage Bottle Rockets that made me at all say, "Who's the all right? That's cool." I mean, of course, I know them and everything, but it was good.
Do you know
Shameless
that?
plug,
Do you know
right,
that Adam is still? Yeah, shameless plug. You know that Adam is still dating Amanda?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, man! That was like the second
Cliff.
show of the first tour I ever did. We met those guys, and they're still together. Crazy.
Cliff, was he in? Was Adam in the reaction?
Yes. He was
Okay,
the singer.
so it was you, Sam, Adam, and
Brent.
Josh.
Brent.
Okay, so because
I
remember
remember
when you remember when you guys had that apartment in Newcastle?
Yes.
Okay, so I was hanging out with Sam a bit, and I would come over there. You guys had like a sheet and for furniture. You had like a bed sheet and like half a pizza in the fridge, and you guys were living. You were living the serious punk rock. Like,
That's right.
doing it lifestyle, man. But
Yeah. We all worked at
funny.
Amazon. We all worked
Yeah,
at Amazon in the
I
warehouse.
worked there too. Yeah. Funny story about that apartment you had, Cliff. So Sam and I, let's just say it's not the nicest area, this apartment building where they used to live. So they had this band house apartment. So one time Sam's like, hey, can you bring out our garbage for some? I don't know why, but he asked me to bring out your garbage. So I go out. You guys had a dumpster a little bit down the road where you guys would put your trash. So I leave your apartment building. I go down to the dumpster. I fill the bag in, and all of a sudden I hear this like ravenous beast of a pit bull like charging for me. So
Oh my gosh.
I throw down the bag. I start running the fastest I've ever ran in my life to try to get to the front door of your apartment building. And I hear the owner. She's like, "Don't run! You're gonna make it mad!" And I was like, "Screw that! I'm running!" So I'm like running and run like the fastest I'm telling you, man. Sam, I could see Sam behind the glass doors laughing. I could see him laughing, and I was like, I'm gonna die tonight. But I literally, it was like something out of a movie. I just like dove into the apartment building, through the glass door shut, and the dog was like jumping on the glass, trying to, like enter the glass to kill me. It was anyway. That's the memory I have of that apartment you guys.
Was
had.
I not home?
You were working, man. You were working a lot around that time. You were trying to get the money together for the record and stuff, and
Right.
yeah, you weren't there. Yeah.
All right.
Good times.
Hey, we got a few minutes left here of this absolute awesome show. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct, sir. A couple minutes.
Couple minutes.
7 minutes.
We got 7 minutes left with Warren. 7 minutes in Warren. Just like 7 minutes in heaven. What do we want to talk
That's
about?
disgusting.
Let's get Russ or Dustin in here and see if they have anything they want to talk about with him. Questions?
Is something going to happen to me in 7 minutes? I need to know.
It's like The Ring. In 7 minutes.
Right. We just wasted one of them. So yeah, go.
Well, we were all kind of reeling from your very odd description of. Anyway.
All right.
So, Russ, how's North Dakota treating you?
No, dude. This is Russ. Do you have any questions for Warren?
Are you laying on like an Egyptian sofa, or like what is this?
Hey, Andy, do you have any questions for Russ?
Yeah, what? You look like the
That's
Queen of
apparently what we're
Sheba.
doing.
Okay.
Andy, go ahead. Question Russ. Go ahead. Egyptian what?
I don't know. You just had like this like very. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Canadians are so weird. God.
I'm not a Canadian, man.
He had some
Dude,
cool
like-
movie posters. I was wanting to see the rest of the room behind him.
Yeah, I saw the Pet Cemetery one.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Are you able to pick your computer up and walk around the room and show everybody what's going on?
Are you guys talking to me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Show us your pad.
When I got married, I had a lot. Before I got married, I had a lot of disposable income, and I spent a lot of it on movie posters. And when I got married, obviously I'm not going to get to display the posters that I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on and framing in the house. So my wife gave me the breezeway. So this is my room where I hang out in the summer and watch baseball and
Nice.
just a small sample.
Nice.
Nice.
Very cool.
I got the breezeway. She gets the rest of the house. Although I do have an uncut Mets postcard poster from 1986 that's proudly displayed in my kitchen.
Wow.
Oh, wait, Warren, check this out. I think you will. Maybe I'll mail this to you. Do you know what this is? Can you see that?
Oh, let's see, left to right. That's Bob Stanley, Mookie Wilson, and Bill Buckner. Yeah, I was at that game.
You were at that game?
I was, yeah.
Whoa.
Game 6.
Oh yeah, that's you right there.
Yeah, and you know what? John and a friend of mine, another friend of mine, we went to Game 7 of that the next night.
Like, we're talking the Game 6?
In '86? No, yeah, I was at that game. I was a Mets season ticket holder at that point.
Mm.
So I had tickets to the entire home series, and John went with me to Game 7.
Wow.
Because we weren't working, or maybe we were home for a night. I don't really remember.
I was not expecting you to say that. I was just thinking you were going to be like, oh, cool, the Mets. Yeah, I like the Mets. By the way, I hate the Mets. But go ahead.
Okay, I hate the Phillies, but you know what, Josh? There's plenty of room for all of us. It's a big baseball world.
Yeah. Hey,
Except
I got
for
to
Canadians.
opening day, man. You want to come to opening day?
Go ahead.
I just said, Warren, you want to come to opening day against the Red Sox? I don't know.
In Philly?
It's in Philly, yeah.
The Phillies open up against the Red Sox?
Yeah, in Philly. I got I have one extra ticket.
That's a mistake.
I would love the opportunity to do that, and thank you, but I can't commit to that.
It's a Monday,
Oh, yeah.
3 o'clock. I think there's
Probably
school at
school
that time.
day.
This is also seeing Josh rejected right now.
But you know what? I have the entire summer off, so let's do something like this in person.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I have a last question for Warren, actually. As a drummer, I want to know if Marky was really as good as he thought he was.
Is he really as good as he thinks he is?
Uh-huh.
Dude, come on. He's freaking
I think
awesome.
No, I know what I think.
I think Mark's a real technical drummer. I don't think he was the best Ramones drummer. I think Richie was a better Ramones drummer.
Oh, no
There you go,
way.
guys. You heard it
Maybe
first.
so, but the tones on the records with Richie.
You heard it
Terrible.
first, guys.
Dude,
I-
who was
I
that
just-
guy in Europe? Mateo or whatever? He was just going on and on about Richie. Richie, man.
He loved
Richie's
that
the
guy.
best.
Yeah.
No, people just say
Richie
that.
Richie was, I think, faster and just better suited. He had a better sound, but Mark's a tremendous drummer, and
He's
he's got
phenomenal.
a lot more talents than just punk rock. You know, that hi-hat snare thing.
I'm gonna call it right now, though. I hate to say it, but the next Ramon to go, it's Richie. He just looks like he's on so many drugs.
Somebody's going to put something in his drink.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen
Wait,
his
so
band live?
We're
I have
calling
not seen his band live.
we're calling people's deaths now. Like, what is this?
I've not seen his band, no, but I've seen some of my friends who've seen his band, and they get their
Mhm.
pictures taken with him after, and he just looks bad, man. He looks really
No, but
bad.
what is how is the band live? Because I know he sings, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you can listen to his album on Spotify, and it's not impressive, man. It's really
Really?
bad.
Uh,
Yeah.
That's too bad. Has anybody listened to Chris's record?
Yeah, I like it.
I have the Bad Chopper one. I haven't heard his new solo one.
The new one's the best one he's done.
Didn't you say the new one, the songs are really good, but the guitar almost sounds synthesized or something? Didn't you say that?
I didn't like the recording, and I know why, because I follow him on Instagram, and he keeps posting pictures of like him making this record, and it's always him in front of a computer, like my type of little Mac computer. So I was just like, he's doing this thing all digitized. But if you can not see that and just listen to it, you'll probably enjoy it more than I did. But
Well, I love the Bad Chopper album, so I mean, I'll eventually get this. I'll be all over it. Sure.
Why don't you guys get Chris on your show?
That'd be a killer.
Why don't you get Chris on our show?
That's a good question.
Just send him a stupid Facebook thing. He'll reply.
Right on.
Make it happen, Josh. Make it happen.
Does he know how to work computers like this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of instructions with this thing.
Mike,
The one thing I'm sure Warren will commit to is beating Josh in fantasy baseball this year. I'm pretty sure that commitment is.
I don't know. That's getting kind of tiring, Mike.
After a couple of years of whooping up on the boy, I can see how you would say that. Yeah.
Hey, aren't we 1 minute over now?
We are in overtime. All right, I guess we'll kill it here. Thanks for everybody that's watching or will watch in the future. We'll do this every 2 weeks and send out some cool invites for people to come in and join us. And who else will get our guests? Maybe CJ. I don't think Mark's going to come in anytime soon. Not when
but if we got
all,
CJ next, that would be a great follow-up guest. But is Simon next? Who's next?
No, Simon will be on in two shows from now.
Who's coming up next week?
Don't have it yet. We'll figure that out. Maybe it'll be CJ.
And if we could get CJ, that would be awesome. We'd be all like,
pretty awesome.
Of course, it might just be quiet because we'll all be like,
we didn't really have that problem tonight. I think we'll be okay.
All right.
Russ, thanks for joining us.
Hey, can I,
Dustin, thanks for joining us.
Can I just?
I'm gonna hit the stop broadcast button.
Yeah,
You can stay in the room. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We're just gonna stop going live here, but stay put. See you guys 2 weeks from now.
bye.